Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel, the Scottish Model Railway Guy. So if you've been following the Alton Hill Pit number 6 build, this is going to be the primary feature of it, and you'll see in the other episodes in the playlist that I'm going to make these wheels turn. How am I doing it? Well, I'm doing it with little geared motors here, which by the way you can get through my TikTok sort of, I don't know what you call it, the items that I list just out of interest. But yeah, these little motors, these little geared motors come in at something like, I think it's £4 each, £8 for two I think it is, which is pretty decent. And when you see them turning, or if you've seen them turning on the other ones, they're absolutely worth it. What have I been doing offline? Well, I've been getting these wires nice and tidy, tested it, put a couple of Wago connectors on the end, bootlaced the end. If you don't know what bootlacing is, it's in the previous episodes, but it's putting these little bootlaces on the end of the wires. So this turns, and you'll see it at the back end of this video turning. But the next thing I want to do is paint it. Now, I've made these little pieces here out of spare laser cut board. I guess it's some sort of MDF. And the intention of this is to cover the motors. But I kind of don't want to cover them too well, but I think that's going to look decent on it. So I've got one for each side, the other one's over here. So last night I was just letting them dry, and ultimately it will look like this once the two of them's on, which I think will look decent, but I don't want to do that first. So I'm going to skip to hyperlapse, because the paint under that, once it's stuck down there, is going to be a nightmare. So instead, I'm going to paint it with them off. These, if you want to know what they are about, I don't know, £2. They're actually made out of sticks that you use for your barbecue skewers, and I just cut them up, glued them in, and away we go. I had to do some alterations along here, you'll see, and I've made a little platform for these. Now these brackets, you have to order separate from the motors, but they are specifically for the motors. I've not glued the motors down. The actual torque when it kicks, it's enough to hold it in these little ones, plus they're also held with this. So I've got no issues with worrying that this motor's going to jump out. Solder jobs, I'm not great at soldering, but I've tried. But right now, we're going to go to hyperlapse, and we're going to give it an undercoat, so hang on. So at this point, what I've done is, with watercolours, I've painted the whole thing. I went black with the wheels, but kept it kind of, I don't know, murky. So I'm quite happy with that black finish, because it's going to pick up a lot of coal. What I then did was I got a black, and I dry brushed it. What is dry brushing? It's doing that, and then just sort of going over it, because again it's coal, so it should have a lot of marks on it, and I'll probably increase that. What my next move is, I'm going to go with this 0411 burnt sienna, and it's actually acrylic. Now you're going to see I'm going to pick up the tiniest bit, right, and then I'm going to go for some rust, you know, maybe dripping down there. That looks a lot just now, but once I've sort of eased it in, you can see we've got that rust going down there, and maybe edge it up a little so you can never really tell where it's coming from. And you would want that sort of repeating pattern on the other side. So I'll do the exact same thing there. And I don't know if you can see it, but I'm just about to come down so you can. And you can begin to see these little rust zones popping into it. But you kind of want them prominent, because from a distance you want to be able to see it. That's probably too much. Let me take some off the brush and work it in a bit. And up. Can you do anything wrong with it? Not really. Other than brush it back over with some brown if you think it's going too far. That's the plan anyway. What I do know is that from engineering is that in joints you tend to get a lot of sort of areas that are rusty where the joints happen, like along here. So with the minimal on the brush, and I'll even be dry brushing the acrylics as well, it's introducing that rust to it. So I'm going to zoom in on that now. I'm going to pause it, move the camera and then zoom in, and you can get the effect. So you can see that coming along there, and that's what I want to replicate. Now getting the colour to this is crucial. Too much on that brush I think. But I'm thinking, you know, along where the joints happen on the platform is where you would tend to see some rust. Don't worry if I go too much. Colours are so similar that what I can do is I can brush it in, right? Which is exactly what I'm doing just now. I'm taking a lot off the brush and then working that in till it's drier. I remember these pit heads were badly exposed to the elements, and you know, we would expect to see a lot of corrosion on them to the point where they were breaking through, and you can just repeat that again and again, and I think it's genuinely a good look for it. What I would say is rust patterns tend to repeat, so if you're seeing it in one particular area, then you would hope to see it in the other, or you would expect to see it in the other where drips happen. You know, the water drips down onto this zone, then you would get, you know, worse corrosion coming down there. And I think that begins to look a bit authentic when you see that. Okay, moving on briskly. And when I say moving swiftly on, I mean it's actually tomorrow now, because I thought I'd let it dry for a wee bit. Now I'm going to bring that up. You can see the finish is starting to happen. Not enough blending in there, but I'll deal with that in a bit. I'm kind of liking how that's turning out down in that corner for a certain angle. Looking at the top, we're getting a nice rust effect, I think. Now, the motors are a bit dirty. The motors are one, you know, I don't really want to paint them, but I might box them in there at some point. But however, what I really want to do is get a very fine brush, as fine as I've got, which isn't that fine actually. And I want to get some deep red watercolour. Now for me, I'm not sure if this is the right colour, but I'm just putting the tiniest dot at the originator of rust. No, that's too red. Is it too red? I'll brush it in and we'll see. Yeah, that's too red, and this is where the decisions are really important. I'm going to ditch that watercolour, and I'm going to try a little crimson acrylic. See how that turns out. You can see it's a different colour. Hopefully this is a bit more of that sort of rust that I'm looking for. Tiniest dip, and there's barely anything on that brush there. And then I'm just going to put it, not exactly what I wanted, I think. Yeah, too red, so I'm just going to blend that back out. But blending it back out is good because it gives it that other colour. What I'm looking for, and I don't think this brush is fine enough. I'm going to have to find one with a very fine tip. So I'm going to pause it a second. So I can't find one with a fine enough tip. I'm going to use the corner of this tiniest bit, just there, and I'll let that dry in. We go to the other corner, give it the tiniest of wipes, and we can see that contrast coming through now. Again, tiniest dip, and we're starting to see what looks like the sort of originator for the rust. And it's trying to find where you think that should be, and then blending it in and getting the sort of more severe parts of the corrosion running down to where you think it should be. And getting a mix, and that's important when trying to sort of do these things, I think, is to try and get that, you know, here's our problem area, and what's causing us all the other sort of rust to come off it. Alright, so I'll repeat that through the whole thing, but you get the gist, and that's where it will become the finished product. But for now, I guess you're getting to the point where you'd like to see it running, as would I. So I'm going to connect up these. The long and short is, I've got a red wire and a black wire. This is a Wago connector. What does that mean? Well, imagine if I put a black wire in this one, stuck it in there, and took it to a power source. Same with the red, completes the circuit, and this will turn. And we shall see that right now. So just to be clear, this isn't the final position for it. I'm just setting it here because it's an easy area for me to sort of show it, and I think under a different light it does have that rusty look. Not quite finished, there's a few things to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up right now, and that is what it's going to look like in its own zone. Does it look good? Well, you tell me. What I know is it's probably one of the coolest things that I've done on my layout so far. Very different. And you can see the little motors and gears working away there, if you look closely. So yeah, I am pleased with that. Thanks for coming this far. I hope you've learned something. I'm always learning new stuff, so if you choose to subscribe, I'll be forever grateful. And if you choose to throw me a wee like, then thank you very much. Cheers for that. Thank you.